What are those two very important giveaways that you would want to give?
Nobody knows everything. We are all learners. We all learn during the process of getting where we want to be at. You need to be aware of all the other aspects that go into. So you should learn your craft. So you have to have that patience wherein you allow your staff or whosoever is your team to make that mistake. You have to make sure that they are answerable for it.
Having come from a business background, taking up formal education as a doctor and getting into the business, how has that been for you?
When we say second generation, what does that mean? So it carries a lot more than just the knowledge of what your fathers or forefathers hold. You know, it's an ecosystem of having values, belief systems, challenging those belief systems. Being a female, I am situated or placed in an industry which is not very female centric. Comes to going to the factory or the plant, the chair has no age. No matter if you're 12, you're 20 or you're 40.
Hi there and welcome to this beautiful podcast with Dr. Pooja Katara Agrawal, who is the founder, Managing Director of Rubbermake, Plastomake, and the brand now, which is touching millions of lives each day, Cradle. Thank you so much for coming to this show.
Thank you for having me, Akshay.
Thank
you for the generous introduction.
It's a pleasure, Pooja. We don't really see a lot of times where such young female entrepreneurs are so deep in the game and with so much of skin in the game, right? And it's more heartwarming when they come up to such platforms and share their true experiences. Things जो कि उनके बहुत ही करीब हो, that really makes a big difference to all the people watching out there, yeah? So it's more than a pleasure for me to be able to talk to you today, Pooja. And maybe let's start with asking you a few questions about the brand and things like that. And we'll take this one by one and as and how. You know, I just want you to be able to put out your true self, the things that you've learned across your journey, and maybe then we can have a conversation after that or during that as well while we sip on this chai.
Yes.
So I want to know that what is that one thing as an entrepreneur that sparked the idea of Cradle? I know you've already got two things running for you. How did Cradle come into the picture? What in the market did you see that brought this or gave birth to this brand?
So, Cradle is basically not just a brand for us. It's coming from a legacy. I would just like to give a brief introduction here as to what we do and what Cradle is. It's me and my sister handling the business along with our father. And we've been seeing him doing this for donkey years now. We are a 40-year-old company.
Yeah.
And we've been making mother and baby products, manufacturing it. And we've studied it very closely. Since we have the knowledge about it, we've been making it for so many known brands. You know, Cradle came from a very deep emotion as to having our own name and putting a name to our baby. Since we are making the products in all varieties and ranges, we wanted to be the first hand, you can say, like a brand who basically caters to not babies. Usually when you see, it's very baby centric.
Right.
All the brands are the focus is babies, whereas I feel the focus should be on moms and mothers.
Wow.
Because when a female is stepping into motherhood, she is giving a rebirth to her own self.
Wow.
It's not just a baby that comes into the picture.
Yeah.
The life's change of any parent. I would not stick to it being a female or a male. Any parent, when you become a parent, it's a very new dimension. And Cradle has the knowledge, and since I'm from the medical background,
right,
you know, I wanted to put it to use and give solutions to problems in the form of products.
Correct.
So that's what basically Cradle does, is to provide you with solutions in the form of our products.
That's so true. I mean, a lot of times I see brands, or rather entrepreneurs who are focused on just the product that may sell, but it does really go a notch above and beyond. When you think of not just, let's say, the baby in your case, it also goes back to where the mom starts from and her entire journey, right? So that means that we are thinking not just about the end outcome, but we are also thinking of making that whole process into a lovely, memorable process that they would cherish and remember for the rest of their lives, you know. I would also like to ask you about this, that being a second generation entrepreneur as yourself, having come from a business background,
Yeah.
taking up formal education as a doctor and getting into the business, how has that been for you? Were there any learnings or things that you would want to share with us? How does it pan out?
So, firstly, to understand what a second generation, when we say second generation, what does that mean? So, it carries a lot more than just the knowledge
Right.
of what your fathers or forefathers hold. You know, it's an ecosystem of having values, belief systems, challenging those belief systems, but not stepping out of the culture of the way your because
Correct.
that's what a family business is, right?
Correct.
The word family comes prior to the word business.
Yeah.
So that has some meaning to it.
Right.
So when I talk about the second, and I'm pretty sure all the second generation entrepreneurs would be able to relate to what I'm just about to say. It's always you need to strike a balance between wherein you are confident about what you're getting onto the table.
Right.
At the same time, you need to be aware of your own shortcomings, because you don't have that kind of an experience that your fathers probably would have, or your whosoever is in your family business and is senior to you. You know, so that's been a ride, because again, we are three generations working together. Now, as I mentioned, I have my sister along with me, who
Correct.
is again a decade younger to me.
Yeah.
So she has her own set of ideas, or new. It's like a freshness that comes on to when we are having these discussions around Cradle. So it's very interesting. You need to step into the shoes of your fathers or your seniors to understand where they are coming from, and they need to do the same. Once you strike a balance between that, then the best outcome is what we see.
So I'm going to take this up a little deeper with you.
Yeah.
So and I see this, that we've read books about this, we've seen news articles, not with respect to a certain business type, but it so happens that there's a lot of pressure. So
Correct.
when there's someone who has done something really big
Yeah.
in your family, to be able to live as a second generation entrepreneur,
Yeah.
there is a lot of pressure. People don't see that on the outside though. They think that it's a silver spoon given to everyone. How did you be able to keep that whatever has been made, we keep it the way it is, and second is be able to find new avenues to grow that market, having this pressure on you as a child? Or was it not there? Did you naturally learn to get out of it? Because this will really help folks be able to fine tune those little things that are really needed to make a person or put that person into a chase. So that's something that you have come out of. So I want to know, how did you do that?
So I feel the first thing you need to do is you need to accept that your growth is in the shadow of your senior or your father. You know, that's where you're going to grow. In the beginning, it's more about them trying to teach us, or we trying to learn how this works. For me, the challenges were very different, because being a female, I am situated or placed in an industry which is not very female centric. When it comes to going to the factory or the plant, or being in the baby industry specific, very few people are here now. The times are changing, but you first need to also understand that you cannot compare your strengths and your way of being around your staff or your work culture to be as same as your father's. I did
Right.
that mistake of trying to be my dad for a very long time,
Oh.
because that's what I've been doing since I was a kid. I used to roam around in his shoe, because my only intention was to be like him. So for a very long time, I felt that if I need to succeed, or if I need to really do something big, I need to just do exactly what he's been doing. And that's where I understood that it's absolutely wrong. I cannot replicate or be my dad. It's not going to be possible.
Right.
It's better to understand and analyze what your strength is, how you communicate with your people. My dad always interestingly has put on one thought in my head when I started, that people are going to look up to the chair. The chair has no age. No matter if you're 12, you're 20, or you're 40, people, your staff, your people and others, your clients are always going to want solutions from you.
Right.
You know, so that's where the clarity came in. And that's how, when I proposed the idea Cradle, he wasn't very sure about it in terms of, because we already are in the industry since 40 years.
Right.
You know, so bringing up your own brand was a little stepping out of the comfort zone kind of a situation for us, you know. But then he understood how it's important and it's a strength for us, because we make the very products. It's not that we are getting it catered from somewhere.
So some key learnings from here is that we do have the leverage of all the knowledge that we get.
Yes.
However, it's very important for us to be able to find our own way as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we tend to emulate the person we are with, or we look up to that person to such an extent that we even start sounding like them,
Yeah,
or we
that's
start
so true.
behaving like them or reacting like them,
Yes.
which may not be the best solution long term ahead, but it could solve your problems in the near future, and may never really let yourself be completely, you know, you're 100% unleashed as far as what you can do.
I mean, your authenticity is what matters at the end of the day, be it anything, no matter which business you're in, no matter whether you're at home or you're a homemaker or you're a mother or a sister, whatever it is, you got to do you. You need to be authentic to yourself first. Understand and accept that, okay, fine, maybe I lack in these areas and I need to work upon them. And these are my strengths, so I need to go in that direction. So when Cradle came in the picture, I was very sure about it, because I had that faith that, you know, I had a vision as to what I'm offering and why I'm offering this. So it's been a good journey for me.
So one question that comes into my mind, and I would want to segue from the vision part of it, is you have an idea, you mastered the art of how to do it, but what are your observations on the sales front? Because at the end of the day, you have to meet certain numbers to be able to justify the business that you do, right? And I would want you to delve into those things. How is it in the Indian market and the outside market? You can freely give me an answer around this as to what are your thoughts on and the observations that you've seen.
So Akshay, you know, fortunately or unfortunately, when you talk about the baby industry or the baby products, the notion here is that when I ask you, okay, Akshay, tell me some baby brand that you like, I am like almost 10% sure that you will not be able to think of any Indian brand in specific when it comes to all the products.
I yet have to think of brands though, but I'll take that for an answer.
Because it is something so natural to us that, you know, barring a few and a few products, baby products that are doing really well, I mean the feeding bottle industry or the any oral product industry in the baby, you will not be knowing many Indian brands around it. Whereas there have been brands that are here since so long, they're doing so well and their products are so good, you know, but our mentality is such that somewhere we divert towards that Western touch to having those brands in our home.
Correct.
You know, and especially when it comes to babies, the parents are a little more aware, which they should be, rightly so. So that's when that curiosity in me, that why, and the you know, I wanted to switch this notion of why only international brands should be there on our top list, wherein we are doing pretty well for ourselves.
Correct.
So, and when it comes to our country is so diverse, you know, there are so many cultures, it's so beautiful. What I have seen is really funny. What works in the north, for example, Punjab. Now, Punjabis are, being a Sindhi Punjabi myself, you know, we are all out in terms of things that are big, probably like big parathas for breakfast or big glass of chas or lassi. So, the bottles or the products that do well there are different than what would do better in probably a south market. You know, when you go to Kerala, you know, people there are wanting a particular range of products because they have the knowledge around it, so they want to pick a certain thing. When you go to Surat, it's totally different because they want more range of products rather than just one or two best quality. They would want more in numbers. When I come to Probably a Calcutta or like a West Bengal area. They're very color specific. They don't like certain colors to be used.
How do you get this kind of an information?
This is all feedback that we collect from the market.
Wow.
Initially I was of the notion that, if I feel a product design is good, or if I like a particular design, so this is going to do well in the market, but doesn't
Right.
work that way. People have very specific interests in choosing what they choose. So, yeah.
So you believe in regularly iterating. So you do something, you get a customer feedback, or you get feedback from your internal product design teams.
Yes.
You analyze the market and you keep iterating over the designs of Cradle, right, to suit.
Yeah, so Akshay, for us, luckily, not just being a manufacturing unit is a added feather, but we also have our own in-house designers, and we have our own tool rooms and mold making processes that
Right.
happen in-house. We don't cater any of our molds outside. So that's a plus for us because we keep experimenting and we can change. We are open to feedback and we work on it and we change as to what is, the need of the market.
Do you also think we're a very cost sensitive market? Like a lot of big players, I've heard them saying that it's a different ball game when you talk to a European or a US market
Yes.
versus what you do in the Indian market. Like India stands, it's not like the Asian market that we're talking about. We're just saying कि यार India में थोड़ा सा मुश्किल हो सकता है to sell something.
हाँ.
Is that true? And how true is it and how are you tackling it now?
I mean, definitely it's true because we are, again, I said, we are a diverse nation. We have good numbers when it comes to our population also. So we have to cater to masses, and economy is something we really need to put our minds to. There are so many brands in the market. So you need to be cost effective because there's so much competition. Cost is definitely a factor. But again, we don't compromise on quality. Just because I'm selling a particular product in an X amount doesn't mean that it's compromised in any way. Since we are catering to the babies and we know that mothers want best for their babies, so we make sure that we supply all ranges of products.
Just for my clarity on a few more things, is that how are you able to keep yourself updated with the new things that are coming up in the market versus is this thing really needed for solving the problem today? So I have a technology
Yeah.
that was made. Is that really needed today to solve the problem? Are you able to make that judgment today?
Yeah.
How do we do that?
So, as you know, we've been evolving. I mean, we are always evolving, right? So, we had pagers first, then we had those normal cell
Yes.
phones, then we switched on to smartphones.
Yes.
So, everyone everywhere is constantly evolving. The whole concept of motherhood has changed. The whole concept of, moms were cool always, but now, it's a all new direction to it. So what Cradle does basically is provide solutions. We identify what are the problems, and like I said, we try to, for example, if I have to talk about one of our products, the baby has to leave feeding onto a mother's breast or get onto feeding bottle and then get onto semi fluids and then solids, whatever is the process. So we make such sipper cups that help wean off from the feeding from the mother or the feeding bottle and then switch. It makes the system as such
Right.
that you switch from sipper cup 1 to 2 to 3, so then your baby gets trained in the process. We have a very interesting product called as the teething necklace. Basically it's nothing, it's a teether in a fashion accessory. So when the mother is busy doing what she does and she has to hold the baby is occupied, so that the mother is free to do what she wants to do. So it's very important for you to identify how you can make it easy for the mom, So that's where because we can't keep on going making everything that's out there. That's not practical. You can't be excellent at everything at one go. You really need to know what best it is for you to provide. So that's what we focus on.
Maybe I'll take it the way that you said that mothers have always been cool
Yeah.
about a lot of things. Yeah, to all the mommies out there,
Yeah.
for actually taking always 10 steps ahead of what the generation has been, irrespective of things that have been around them. So, out of the multiple things that you've been working on, the numerous products that you are producing today at Cradle, if I would want to ask you, what are those products that are really close to your heart? So, by that I would mean essentially, for a musician, it is some songs that I love a lot,
Yeah.
might or might not do good for everyone's ears, but I know where they've come from and what is the kind of impact that they have. So what is that kind of a product, or maybe multiple products that you have that is really close to you? I would not term it as a favorite,
Yeah.
but maybe a hot shot, if I may call it as.
So obviously everything that I make is dear to me, but if you ask me to pick and choose, there are two very important products that I'm going to talk about. One is the teethers. When I say teethers, when the baby is teething, when just about the first tooth is about to erupt, babies are usually very cranky, because they are again going through a lot many emotions, and they cannot communicate. So the only way they communicate is through their tears or the way they cry. So teethers are something that really help them soothe the gums, and help moms also to deal with the situation. I don't know if a lot many moms know this, but something cool or a cold sensation usually soothes the gums. So you should refrigerate your teethers, silicone teethers specifically. Give it like a cool, let it become a little more chilly, and then you use it on your babies. I think that really works in calming the baby down. The second product, more than the product, is the process that I want to talk about, which is breast pumps.
What is that?
So breast pumps are usually, pumping is the process wherein the mother pumps her breast milk and it is stored. You can store it in various containers, but if you want to feed your baby, or usually not only working moms, first it was like a myth that moms who are working, they need to pump, store the milk, so when they are at work or when they are away, the baby gets to have the mother's milk. But the actual thing is that you need to pump. Whether you're a homemaker or you're a working mom, you have to pump for the health of your own body or your breasts, or even, it's a process because your body is producing milk.
Yeah.
That's how the nature works. So you need to, pumping is a positive process which helps you. There's a lot that goes on with the mothers when they are in this journey of motherhood. So breast pumps is one of the products I really like because not only it helps the mother, it's like a, I won't say like a break, but you get that window wherein you can really store your milk. You're secure that your baby is getting your own milk. And otherwise also there are a lot many problems that not all mothers can feed that easily. They have their own physical constraints at times.
Correct.
Or sometimes the body doesn't support it. So breast pump is something that helps you release off that pressure. Even when your baby is not feeding, usually the baby feeds, it latches on to the mother's breasts, and that's how the feeding process happens. The milk is released. The same thing is done with the breast pumps. So I would pick these two products.
Interesting, because I still see that a lot of babies do not get the milk on time.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're termed as undernourished.
Correct.
And I think something like this really solves for a problem like that, as it could be that I would want to nourish my baby, let's say 5 hours from now, 3 hours from now.
Yes.
And I may be busy doing something else. I could be a working woman just like you.
Yeah.
At that point in time, maybe I need that kind of a time to be able to take care of that as well. So
yeah, also because there are so many stay-home dads also. There are so many people. It's not just that you're working. Even if you have a life of your own at the end of the day, even though you're a mother, even though you have a baby now, it's very important that you have a life of your own also.
Right.
So just the nature-specific way, it's very important that you pump. It's different for different females. Every journey is different, so every instruction to when and what needs to be pumped is different. But it's a very important process that has to be incorporated.
I also had this question that I wanted to ask you though, and I feel now that I've understood what are the products that you make, how have you reached into the market, this is one of the very important questions that even before the interview I heard from a lot of folks who have been like a client to you, maybe have been a recipient of your end product. And you per se have been an entrepreneur since very young. So I want to know with all authenticity that how does one make it work? Is it just the money that solves for all the problems? Because I know that money can solve all your problems. But given a problem statement that you have, let's say I tell you that, this is the kind of a problem that we want to solve in the world. How does one make the best of the resources that he has or she has? How do they take it further into their entrepreneurial journey? How do they kickstart that kind of a journey? What would you have done differently?
So I would not deny that money is not important.
Right.
It is important, and you need to be practical around it.
Right.
But see, you can be very creative, you can be really intelligent, you can have great set of ideas, but networking is very important. You cannot lead the show on your own thinking that, okay, I have this ABC resources and I'm going to just do everything with it. You need to be able to understand and have a clean slate wherein you want to start. So for example, you should be open to collaborations.
Correct.
If there's someone who has probably to make a full circle, you might be fulfilling half of it. The other person might be able to fulfill half of it. Just having a great idea is not sufficient.
Right.
You need to have the resources to, implement it and make it work out practically. So you should be open to collaborations, and that's how you help each other and you lead in the process. You meet so many people in your journey that can help you. You should be open to understanding where you lack, understanding that, okay, fine, I'm good with this. So I need to have probably someone who can help me for the next step. And that's how you should kickstart off your business, but you should also be aware that it's something like, your car needs the fuel. You need to keep refilling it. You need to keep generating the cash or the money for you to again put it in your own business to grow and expand. So it's an continuous ongoing cycle. So it's not just about the money. You should network. You should be able to, if you're not doing very well in a particular area, and you have to understand how that works, you should be able to surrender and have that trust and faith. Okay, fine, this is going to work for me, and that's how you take it ahead.
So what I catch from you is, you have a talent, you can do something. So, but you cannot maybe fulfill the whole circle, as you put it very well.
Yeah.
So be open to collaborating.
Yes.
And the next is that iterate fast, learn fast.
Correct.
Be ready to let go of the things that you've created to be able to create a new thing. So it's almost like I destroy what I've made and then recreate something new that I would want to do, right? What are those two very important giveaways that you would want to give, let's say, the new age? I wouldn't want to put it as new age entrepreneurs, but the entrepreneurs who are coming in right from technology that has been given to them since childhood. What is it that still holds true as part of a value, or 2 points that you would want to give to them and everyone else who's maybe watching this podcast as a key takeaway that you've learned by literally going through the toil of making so many mistakes and yet coming out successful?
So I feel, when you ask me this question, again, it takes me back to my journey of how I have struggled my way through it. It's not, nobody knows everything.
Right.
We are all learners. We all learn during the process of getting where we want to be at. But one very important thing is, even though you might be the design person,
Right.
you might be wanting to open a business and your forte would be designing, for example. But when you talk about being in the business, you need to be aware of all the other aspects that go into. You should also be the finance person. You should also be someone who knows how production works. You should also be knowing how the design industry works. So you should learn your craft. And how do you learn your craft is by getting into it completely. It is not that tomorrow, if I might just be handling, the account section in my business tomorrow, or I might just be handling the customers tomorrow, just the marketing bit. But that does not mean that I should not have the knowledge or be aware of all the other aspects. My knowledge has to be to the T. I need to learn. It's the basis. I need to learn of how this whole system is going to run. So that is the first thing. You need to learn your craft. The second thing I would say is, allow your people to make mistakes. Because what we end up doing is we get so stuck in the daily operations that our productivity gets hampered, because we don't depend, or because we feel it's my baby, it's my business. So whosoever is working with me or for me will not be able to get it. They will not be able to get it because you're not letting them. They ultimately would get into the habit of अच्छा ये this thing has happened, ये गलती मुझसे हुई है,
right.
So अभी जो भी है सर देखेंगे या मैम देखेंगी.
Correct.
तो वो गलती उनको ओन करने का चांस नहीं देते हम. We don't give that space for people to learn from their mistakes and then come to a position wherein they don't make that mistake anymore.
Correct.
So you have to have that patience wherein you allow your staff or whosoever is your team to make that mistake, so that you are not answerable for it. You have to make sure that they are answerable for it.
I love this. Actually, I want to ask you this, and this actually brings out a shade of, there's some kind of a boldness that an entrepreneur has got.
Yeah.
Which, let's say, a person who's 10x more talented might not have that kind of a boldness. And if I may put it rightly, is it, what do you define as your risk versus what do you define as, I don't fear making mistakes anymore? Like, how much can a person take, or rather should take, logically? And second is, if it gets too risky, should I still be scared of doing it? Do you get scared of failing anymore, Pooja?
I mean, I'm thankful for my failures, because it's only when I fail I understand that, okay, I have failed here. So what could have been done differently?
Right.
Or where did I go wrong? So that self-analysis is very important. Also, what I understand is that when you fail, there is only scope for, jumping higher or reaching higher, because that's put yourself through the process and it still did not work out. So that's where you challenge your own mind to understand that, okay, this did not work out for me. So you tend to think in various different directions only when you fail, to understand, okay, these are the aspects that need to be covered. Or also I feel that it's more like you should be able to enjoy this process. Some days are going to be really difficult. Some days are going to be really easy for you, but always look back. And I feel, as far as the risk bit is concerned, you should definitely take risks, because that's where you can stand out or be different from others. But then always think about the bigger picture. Always put one thought, what I do personally is always think that this decision of mine, is it going to be a good decision for my another next 5 years, or probably in the future? Will this decision be something that I would be questioning, or I'm a 100% sure about the outcome? That's how I usually analyze my decision making.
Could there be some real decision that you had to up your risks and it turned out really well for you in the market today?
Yeah, I mean, there's been quite a few. Like I said, Cradle, building the brand itself was a decision that we'd taken. And because I told you, we were very comfortable in the zone wherein we were already doing what we are doing. But to build a brand and make a name was very challenging. So this is something I had believed in, and that's how I am here today.
Any specific customer feedback that really shaped your love for doing this even more?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I have my friends who've been very supportive. So a big yay to them, because they've come forward and they've given me honest feedback on Cradle products, and maybe what needs to be better, or which are the products that they really like. So it helps me also to understand, because you can be a mother at any given point in time in your life. So again, having said that, the various feedbacks that we get, we make sure we work onto it, and we are always open to it. We are not very stringent about, no, this is how it has to be.
Awesome. And I think there are a lot of discussions that I would want to have, but before that, I think both of us should head out for some tea.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll keep chatting on a few more conversations that I want to know. I want to dive a bit more deep into various other relatable plus difficult or slightly difficult conversations with you, and I want to tickle your brain on that. On that note, thank you so much, Pooja.
Thank
It was
you
a
for
pleasure
having
having
me,
you in
Akshay.
this.